All right, guys, welcome back. I want to show you the progress. So you can see I put the ends on here. These are all glued together. These were the tabs I was talking about. So they're done. But this is the thing I wanted to show you guys. It came out beautiful. So this is going to be the rotor that's going to sit in the middle of this, like right about there, and spin. So now in looking at this, I'm a little nervous that these might be too tall for this to sit in there and function properly, but I think it'll be okay. But I made this in 3 pieces. All right, you can see right there. And then this is where the magnets are going to go. I'm going to use the same magnets that I used in the rotor in the solenoid motor. And I've got this line down there. This is the crease from the 3D printer to line these up. And I'm going to put 3 cylinder magnets in each of these. So it's going to be kind of heavy on either end, which is good. And then, of course, this is the centerpiece. And then, of course, the rod is going to go through there. And I'm hoping, yeah, it should be okay. It should be okay. But I'm debating now. So you can see I made a little recess here. So I'm either going to put a solid cap, and these are, excuse me, these are press fit. I can press these and they'll fit in there. Or I was thinking about going with a translucent one, but it's not translucent enough where you can see the magnets. But I might do that anyway, just for the color difference. But this was printed using that high-speed profile I talked about. And man, they came out beautiful. The fit is fantastic. These fit together. Of course, I'm going to glue these together once I figure out if I'm going to stay with this arrangement or possibly turn it 180 degrees so that, here, so that it's got 3 in this direction and then 3 in that direction. I think that might balance it out better. But I'm thinking, because it's set up the way it is, I think it's going to be okay like this because it is turning like this. So I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it really matters. Although I talked to my son and he said I should turn it 180 degrees. So I may do that because then I'll have the 2 heavier sides here and the 2 heavier sides there, and that might balance it out. But I'm not really sure. So the next thing I have to do is I have to wind these. And so I need to spend a whole day just winding all the coils for the solenoid motor, and then these big guys here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this down and I'm going to rig up a big winding system. So I'm going to kind of wind it by hand, but not really. But I want to wind it so that it's really nice going across. And I think I'm going to put 5 layers. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it starts here and ends here. Anyway, yeah, so the next time you see this, these guys should be wound. This will be glued. The magnets will be in there. And this puppy should be together. All right? Stay tuned. All right, so I got the rotor glued up. So that takes several hours to dry, but I like giving it 24 hours. So, and today's Easter. If I had more time, I would actually start to wind these coils, but we go over for big Easter dinner at our cousin's house. My wife's Italian, so there's like a billion of them over here. It's great though. But yeah, so after I wind these, I'm going to take these guides off. See if I can get one off. See, these guides slip into this unit here. I'm going to glue these guides, one on this side and then one on that side there, so that when I flip this over, it can capture the center ring. So I'm going to glue these, but I'm going to glue them after I wind the coil. Yeah, because I don't, these are kind of, I wouldn't call them delicate, but they can break kind of easy. I guess you'd call that delicate. And I don't want to damage that before I get it together. And so if I'm winding the coil, it might damage it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a round piece of wood, a disc, that's going to have a V shape to it, and then a hole in the center to drive a rod through. And the V shape will capture this side, and there'll be one on that side, so that I can put it on a spinning mechanism by hand. I'm not going to hook up any machinery to it. I thought about it, but then I thought, no, I want to be able to wind this slowly by hand, because I do want to get it wound nicely. And I think I can get away with that. I don't think I need to put any type of filler in there to flatten this out, because again, this is so much better than that other one I made that had all the segments. This is only 2 segments. And I wish I could have made this smaller and wider than taller, because again, I'm afraid it may be too tall for the rotor, but it should be okay. We'll see. We'll see. So one of the advantages of working on these pulse motors is having a wood shop with all the tools I need for jigs. So I made this disc that'll sit on one end of this guy. Of course, there'll be a hole in the middle, which will clamp it tight so that I can spin it on a mandrel to wind this coil. Now I just got to make another one of these. Yeah, and it's great because I have my vacuum hose up there. I actually have a small one up there, so whenever I need to do it, I just drop it down. I come over here, I hit the button, and it turns on. It's great. I love it. I actually put that up there years ago, and I've used it every single day I've been in this shop since then. But yeah, so in case you missed the last video or the last segment, these are all going to be strung together. So yeah, I'm making 2 of these that are going to grab this with a threaded rod through to hold it nice and tight, so that I can then wind it. All right, I'll tell you, you can never have enough vices. I made this one a while ago. It goes underneath this workbench that I made, and then I finally broke down and got a really big one for doing some heavy duty stuff. I have one over there, I have one over there, and I have one right here, but this little guy's kind of taken its spot. I clamped this little Chicago Electric mini grinder that I got on a whim when I was at Harbor Freight. But this little guy works pretty good. I just don't know where I'm going to get replacement wheels for it. Doesn't have a lot of power, but it's great for little stuff. Anyway, so I take down the rough edges, and then I bring it over to the sander to, well, the one, then I bring it back to the what is that called? Jesus Christ. I bring it over to the saw over there, and I cut the curve into it right here, and then I sand it on my homemade disc sander. Belt, not belt sander. What the hell is that called? I cannot believe I don't remember what that's. Bandsaw. Thank you very much, bandsaw. Anyway, gotta love these rasps. So just in case you were wondering, it's for something like this. See, then I can manually wind it. I'm going to have the wire probably over there mounted. I'm going to have a tensioner somewhere here, and then I'll be holding the wire here, and yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that should work. I might have to figure out a different way to rig this up. I mean, it'll definitely work. But yeah, that's what the 2 wooden discs were for. And I was surprised I was able to mount it on this. I didn't think I was going to have enough room. I actually have to take one of these washers off. I didn't think I was going to have enough room. But it definitely works. All right. So the problem I've discovered is this little mechanism for zeroing out the counter is in the way. I could cut a groove in this, which would be simple enough, but I also discovered that I really don't have enough room for the nut. Again, I could countersink a hole there and put one in there. But it's, yeah, I got this issue. This is the real issue right here. If this wasn't in the way, I can simply take the washers out and just butt it up against this. Then I would have plenty of room. I mean, this piece is screwing onto the threaded rod, but it's not going, and actually I'm going to be going this way with it because I want to wrap the wire around like this, clockwise, starting from top to bottom. So I don't want to put the wire here and turn it this way. I want to turn it this way, which is going to be different than how I usually wind coils. But because this is a Newman motor, I want to do it that way for whatever reason. Because I want, this is going to be the start and this is going to be the finish, and then the same thing on the second coil. So this finish is going to tie into the bottom coil start. Anyway, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I can easily just bend that. Yeah, I can just bend that. See, I like talking to you guys because it makes me think out loud. All right, once again, there we go. That was really thin metal, so I just bent it. And a countersink hole, and we are good to go. Now I just got to set up the back end. Actually, I'm going to be going this way, which is, I don't like doing it, but I have to. If I want the wire to wrap around like that, I got to go this way. So what I need to do is drill a little hole here and then a little hole over here, because I don't want them to terminate in the same spot. Well, actually I have to figure out where I'm going to drill the hole, but it's set up, ready to go. Should be good. So in the years and years that I've been winding coils, not very successful I might add, I have learned some tricks. One of the secrets is preparation. So I'm going to be putting a thin piece of white masking tape over each layer. Kind of isolate each layer. Not that that's necessary, but it'll help hold it and it will help me align each layer. Instead of putting paper around, I'm just going to use regular old really thin masking tape. And so 20 gauge wire, and the whole thing is about preparation. So I set up smaller strips of wire for temporary holds, and then once I get a full length, yeah, so it's all about preparation. It's all about preparation. And I'm sure you guys can agree with that. When I start doing this stuff and I'm not fully prepared, it's a nightmare. And actually, what I may do is I may better work these wheels so that I have more of an even grip, even though it's fine. But again, I don't want to rush this because I don't want to screw it up because I got one shot, right? Otherwise, I got to reprint all this and waste a lot of wire. There's a couple of coils over there from some old Newman motors. I believe this coil had just regular speaker wire in it, which was odd. It worked. And then, of course, this has, I believe, 23 gauge, 24 gauge, maybe even higher. So I'm going with 20 gauge on this because I don't know really why. I had a reason and I forgot what it was. Anyway, I'm sure somebody in the comments hopefully will tell me why I shouldn't go with 20 gauge or why I should. But yeah, I gotta wind these guys too, so I'm gonna spend a whole day winding. I'm not going to do it today. I will probably start it tomorrow because we have to go over our cousin's house and I gotta get cleaned up. Anyway, thanks for watching.